name is Russ Sorrells. I'm with CapEx Sales, and we are focused on helping our customers, mainly manufacturing engineers, improve and get better in their career. We want to add value. That's our mission, is to always be adding value to our customers, because that's, selfishly how we get value. We get value when our engineers are able to utilize these different skills and the tools and equipment that we provide in order to improve their manufacturing environment and processes. So we want to continue to try to pour into our customers, and that's what we do every week with this industry cast. Today, we are talking about the real value of the manufacturing engineer. So this is essentially a breakdown of an article that I wrote here a while back, and it talks specifically about how to go from a reactive mode to a proactive mode, how to move away from troubleshooting, which can be kind of addictive in the manufacturing engineering role. And I know that because at one point in time in my career, I spent about 5 years as a manufacturing engineer before I crossed over to the dark side and got into sales. So let's move forward into this discussion today. First, this is again the only marketing that we do, just to help you understand what we do and how we deliver value to the market. Is we represent companies like ATC Automation out of Cookeville, Tennessee. 85% of their business is repeat business, and they are about $100 million automation company, 300 employees, and just a wonderful company to work with. They have a team-based work system that is really unique in the industry and a real differentiator. And that's feedback from our customers that tell us that. Cincinnati Test Systems, they are out of Harrison, Ohio. They are now the largest leak test company in the world. Just amazing to have watched and been a part of their growth over the last 20 plus years. Duquesne Plastic Joining, they are a global and diverse plastic joining company, hot plate welding, vibration welding, ultrasonic welding, you name it. Putting together plastic is what they do, and they are a very large company that is involved in all aspects of plastic joining. Symetric is a division of Cincinnati Test Systems, but we break them out because they are focused on high-speed and in-process data management. Industry 4.0 is really their niche. And then Keller Technologies, right here in Fort Mill, South Carolina, they have a comprehensive lineup of industrial air filtration, that's wet and dry air filtration. So again, a wonderful company that we are proud to represent. So today we're going to talk about some of the challenges that engineers face. So you've gone to school, you've graduated with some type of engineering or technical degree, and now you are a manufacturing engineer in a manufacturing company. So what happens is, the challenge is that oftentimes manufacturing engineers become glorified technicians. So they've got a degree, but yet they are always just working on equipment and trying to keep equipment up and going. Oftentimes, duct tape and baling wire, as I often say, as opposed to identifying and implementing permanent solutions. And that is sometimes because you've got legacy equipment that you're dealing with. Maybe you got some real crappy stuff that you're trying to keep functioning. Other times it's because maybe a piece of equipment was over-engineered. Maybe it's very or unnecessarily sensitive and technical to deal with. So there can be any number of things. You've got a really great piece of equipment that's difficult to work with, or you have a really crappy piece of equipment that is just needs to be replaced. But unfortunately, the cost justification isn't there to do it. So you continue to put duct tape and baling wire on it. So this is a cycle, though, that we get into that's difficult to get out of as manufacturing engineers. It's a bit addictive to be a troubleshooter, a firefighter, but because it's easier than a permanent solution. A permanent solution takes thought, it takes planning, it takes time to implement a permanent solution, and sometimes we choose not to pursue that. So we're going to dive into the following question: why is firefighting addictive? How do we break the firefighting addiction? And then what is the ideal role of a manufacturing engineer? So first, let's talk about real manufacturing engineering work. So manufacturing engineers identify the root cause. So we're jumping around here a little bit. So how do manufacturing engineers bring long-term value to our organizations? So how we do it is that we identify root cause of issues, of problems, of challenges. Then we identify permanent solutions based on what we identified as the root cause. And then we establish a plan for implementation. So we work to get the cost justification. And then after the cost justification, we develop the specifications and we develop a plan for ensuring that we can permanently fix this problem that we're having. And then also, of course, manufacturing engineers, this is the fun part of what we get to do, is develop and implement new processes, say for maybe a new program or a new technology that your company is implementing or applying to the current product that you are manufacturing. So why is firefighting addictive? Well, it's immediately gratifying, right? So we have a sense of accomplishment. We have this problem and we fix it, and we are now the hero. And so everyone sees us as a valued team member. Hey, Russ brings value to this organization because he fixes these problems that we have. He makes this equipment go again. Well, really, that's a maintenance function, and maintenance is an extremely important function in our organizations. And as manufacturing engineers, we are not maintenance people. That's not why we should have been hired. Now, maybe that's the pretense with which we were hired, but that's really not our ideal role. We just talked about our ideal role in the previous slide, and that involves identifying root cause of challenges, identifying permanent solutions, implementing permanent solutions, and then developing and implementing new processes. That's where the manufacturing engineer brings the ultimate value to our organization. So we like that recognition. That's another reason why firefighting is addictive, and it's not necessarily work, right? Because it's hands-on. You feel like you're getting something done every time you have an opportunity to fix a fire. So oftentimes, though, what happens is we end up treating the symptoms and not the problem. We end up in a constant effort to firefight, and we want to jump in and solve problems as opposed to doing the deep work that is necessary to potentially permanently fix or eliminate the challenges that we have. Deep work is ideal. So that's the work that we should be doing as manufacturing engineers. So deep work is how we identify and implement these permanent solutions. But that takes blocks of time. So we have to sit down and we have to research and identify what are potential solutions and strategies. We got to bring in suppliers to help us, identify, some root cause and some potential fixes for these challenges that we have. And deep work is really why your company should have hired you. Now, that may or may not be the case, but they should have hired you for your brain, for your skill, for your knowledge, for your training, so that you can make the processes better. Because our role, and we're going to talk about this more, but our role as manufacturing engineers is really to improve the efficiency of our operations so that we are more profitable. Because efficiency, profitability, that's it. That is the creme de la creme. The holy grail of manufacturing is efficiency. The more efficient we are as a manufacturing company, the more profitable that we are as well. So that's why as a manufacturing engineer, it's really all about efficiency. How can we make things more efficient? Firefighting is not an efficient role. Firefighting is just keeping things going as opposed to implementing permanent solutions. So how do we break this firefighting addiction that we can tend to get into the day to day? So as an individual engineer, here's what you can do. So we need to focus on the organizational benefits associated with planning versus reacting. Planning versus reacting. So as an engineer, you got to step back and you got to say, okay, if I were to plan my department and the challenges that I'm having, how would I plan to solve some of the problems that we have or we continually experience in my department? Now, what would I do there as opposed to just reacting to those different challenges that we're facing? As an organization, now this is more challenging. I get it, because you control you don't control your organization. But if you were to try to influence your organization, these are some ideas that you could move forward with. Especially if you're a manufacturing engineering manager, these are some of the things that you could put forth in your organization to transition from firefighting mode constantly to implementing permanent solution mode. So transition to from proactive solutions, that will take time. So you got to know, you got to be patient. It's going to take time, and it requires intentional planning with operations as well as with maintenance. Operations folks want you to fix the equipment so they can make product. That's what they want. They have a goal, and they need to hit that goal every day in order for them to get their recognition, acknowledgement, achievement. And then the maintenance people are going to be the people that implement the change that you're going to be looking for. So you're going to have to be working with the maintenance team in order to implement the solutions that are going to be the permanent fixes to your challenges. And then many organizations, as we talked about, come to glorify or rely on our manufacturing engineers to as maintenance technicians. So they become the first line of defense when something is a problem. They don't call maintenance, they call the manufacturing engineer. So the organization needs to recognize that holistically to see, oh yeah, gosh, we've got these manufacturing engineers that have gone, they've taken the time, they've got the education, but now we are using them in a technician role as opposed to making our business more efficient, which is the real and ultimate role of a manufacturing engineer. So here's a plan moving forward to kind of move from survival mode to proactive mode. So you got to identify and prioritize the line issues. So in your department, you got to identify and prioritize these issues. Now, I realize that this is done probably on a regular basis. The challenge is that we have a long list, but we don't take the time to identify the permanent fixes for the long list that we have created. So we need to work with operations, quality, as well as maintenance to create the list of problems and troubleshoot for your area of responsibility. Prioritize the list based on the criteria that you've established as a team. So as a team, what's most important to us? Is it to reduce the amount of downtime? Is it to increase the safety of the equipment? Is it to increase the efficiency or get rid of inefficient processes? Do we have some legacy technology that if we replaced, it's going to help with all the above? Do we have software that is incompatible with some of the data collection or different processes, different ways of troubleshooting that we're trying to implement? Is the ease of implementation versus the impact to production? So we want to measure those things. So what's most important to our organization? Is it the ease of implementing this new technology or the fix, or is it the maximizing the impact that we're going to have on production? How we focus just on cost savings. Cost savings is often important, but I would say most often is it's downtime that we're trying to reduce if we are going from the survival mode or reactive mode into the proactive mode. Do we have a new technology that we want to apply, and it's going to help us be more efficient? And is this a core competency that we are trying to implement more of in the department? So here's a plan for moving. Again, we're going to continue to talk about this. So we've got to calculate the benefits. What is the financial? What's the ROI? That's what your operations team and your management, that's what they want to know. What is the return on investment for the effort and the monies that are going to be applied to the permanent fix? So can we increase efficiency, increase profitability? Everyone wins. So the organizational ROI is that's what inspires management. That's what they are tasked to do, right? So we've talked about this before, but management in your organization, they have a fiduciary responsibility. That's just a fancy word for saying that they have a responsibility to use the resources and assets of the business in the most efficient way to maximize return. So if they have options for investing $20,000, then their responsibility as leaders is to put that $20,000 to use in an area of the business that is going to return the most or have the biggest impact, greatest return on the organization. So oftentimes return on investment is what inspires management, because that's where they're going to get pats on the back from the board of directors in that they've increased the value of the business because they've increased efficiency and they have a greater return on the overall investment of the business, the overall capital investment specifically. So we want to authorize the fundamental mode to change from reactive to proactive. You're going to need to make sure that your management team is engaged and committed to this process. So establish and implement a plan and timeline. What you're going to do, when or how you're going to do it, and then how long is it going to take, right? So that's fundamental to what we do as manufacturing engineers is we make plans. So how? So what are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And how long is it going to take? So we need to go to this new mode of operation. Again, the goal here is to go from reactive to proactive. So the mode of operation can be accepted in the organization. It is incumbent upon the engineer to communicate. One of our other roles that oftentimes we don't focus on much when we're in school is the importance of communication. Here's where we are, here's where we're going. Here's where we are, here's where we're going. Now, from a management perspective or operations, we naturally understand that. But from an engineering role, we don't often think of our role as communicating this way. But in order for us to inspire and motivate, get the funding that we're going to need, we need to make sure that we are helping management, operations, and everyone else in the organization understand the benefits of moving from reactive to proactive and implementing the plan that you have taken the time to create. So, and then oftentimes showing them, right? So here's our progress. Here are the next steps as we continue to transition from reactive to proactive. And then here is what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. Creating that vision, establishing the vision. It's about the communication effort. So we want to continue to execute the plan that you've created. So you got to utilize an open issues list, timeline, all the same things that we use as capital project managers. You're going to use this in your plan to transition the company from reactive to proactive. So you're going to utilize an open issues list, again, and continuing to establish that communication. Communicate. You're going to measure success. That's what your management wants, right? They want to know, is all this effort meaningful? What have we improved? How have we become more efficient? How have we, as a proactive organization, increased our profitability and our effectiveness in delivering equipment, increased our efficiency, or in delivering product, and increased our efficiency? So we promise the organization a specific return. So measuring that return and the benefits promised, that's the only way to verify the success. That's what your company is looking for. And also, when you're operating in chaos, firefighting, that we often do as manufacturing organizations, that is very detrimental to the culture and can be very difficult to work through. So if you know every day you've got to go to work and it's going to be a slog and you've got to solve problems and fight issues and deal with everything that goes with equipment that's not functioning properly, or an organization that's just not efficient, it can be really frustrating from a cultural perspective. And that we can't even put a cost to that, but it's really important to think about that in the importance of having a business that is well run, that is organized, that is proactive. And there are a few companies that I've worked with throughout my career that have that mentality. Bosch is one of them. Bosch is one of the most proactive organizations that I have personally ever worked with from a manufacturing perspective. They just do an excellent job of planning their work, communicating their work, and then verifying through measurement and then identifying, what are the next steps to further increase our efficiency or their efficiency. All right, so lessons learned. Of course, anytime if we want to continue to grow and improve this organization, take it from reactive to proactive, we need to measure our success, hold each other accountable, and then do a lessons learned on a regular basis. Okay, we did this project. What did we learn? And then how can we implement the lessons learned in the next go around? So, what is the ideal role for a manufacturing engineer? So, this involves progressing the business toward more efficient output. Talked about that. That is the ultimate role that we have as manufacturing engineers, is to increase profitability through efficiency. To increase profitability through efficiency. That is our role on a day-to-day basis, and we also need to be doing deep work. So deep work is that work that we go into, we turn off the phone, we turn off everything, and we really focus on, say, a process. So we're working on implementing or fixing or correcting a problem that we have in the organization. The deep work is when we set things aside and we really take time to think about that problem. We can't do that if we are constantly in reactive mode, if we're constantly firefighting, if we're always on the floor trying to, put the duct tape and baling wire on the equipment to get it back up and going. It's impossible to do deep work when we are in that mode. So it's important that management understand the importance for taking this time to, identify through deep work how we're going to improve process, implement new technologies, and then the new technologies that will give our business a competitive advantage. Really important. That's the mission, is to give our business through our effort a competitive advantage. So in summary here, organizations that take time to be intentional, that intentionally transition from a reactive mode of operation to a proactive, they will be long-term winners. So these companies are more efficient. So when the market turns down, the more efficient companies are going to be more likely to survive a downturn. The companies that are already teetering day to day and struggling to be effective and efficient, they're the ones that are going to have to shut their doors when times get tough. So it's important from a survival perspective. Just if you think of it and nothing else, in order to survive, you've got to be focused on efficiency and increasing the value of your business through efficiency. So the role of the ME, it continues to evolve, but in my experience, it is the most important role in a manufacturing facility. And I'm a bit biased. I used to be a manufacturing engineer. I work every day with manufacturing engineers, but there is not a more pivotal and important role for a manufacturing organization, because manufacturing engineers are the people that develop the new processes. They're the people that understand the processes that are currently manufacturing the product that we're supplying to the customer. So we're relying on them for implementing new processes, as well as keeping the existing processes going and improving the existing processes as well. So manufacturing engineers play an extremely pivotal role in the organization. Now, so we compare that to a quality engineer. Now, a quality engineer has an important role, but if we were to remove them from the organization is going to struggle from a quality perspective, because we need people to keep an eye on that. But from an ability to produce product perspective, they're going to continue to be able to produce product. The manufacturing engineer, you pull them out, and then the facility is going to struggle, because you need the manufacturing engineer that understands the processes to keep things up and going. All right. So that concludes today's conversation about moving from reactive to a proactive organization, and kind of our role as a manufacturing engineer, what we can do to help our organizations move from reactive to proactive. Again, it's mainly a focus on planning, implementation. You can make a difference for your organization. Do more deep work. That work where you step aside, you shut everything down, and you think and you focus. Just take an hour, 2 hours on a regular basis, at least once a week, and think about your department. Where do you need to be focusing? Where can you make the biggest impact? What would be the biggest impact for your department? And then work to implement a process that's going to improve that through planning and then execution. All right, on November 18th, we're going to come to you again live, and we're going to talk about the laws of business. And so again, our mission here is to pour into you. We are grateful that we have you as customers. And we just appreciate the opportunity to work with you on a regular basis. Oh, and we are welcome. We are open to other topics. If there are other topics that you would like for us to deep dive into as it relates to manufacturing processes, leak testing, plastic joining, automation, you name it, we are willing to dig up those topics, go deep in them, and help you understand more about them. Here's who we are. Mike Dorsey is down in South Carolina. Chris Mullins over in Eastern North Carolina, Virginia. I'm Russ Sorrells. I'm in Western North Carolina and select South Carolina accounts, specifically in the upstate. Again, we appreciate you. We are grateful that you're here with us and we have the opportunity to work with you on a day-to-day basis. Until next time, take care. We'll see you soon.